Hi guys, it's Elena from Financialdemics, where I give you the tips and tools to manage your money, increase your savings and your income, and decrease your debt. And today I'm letting you into my budgeting process. I'm just gonna let you know I'm a little strange when it comes to my budgeting process. I know there's people who use like just pen and paper. There are people who use Excel, and people who use budgeting software or an app, and I use all three. I don't know if it's the accountant in me. I just like to have backups. I don't know what it is. I use all three though. So I haven't stopped it. It still takes me under 30 minutes, but yeah, I use all three. And I will say it only takes me under 30 minutes because I have been doing it for a long time. So if it takes you longer than 30 minutes, don't feel like you're doing it wrong or it's just hard. It's just I've been doing it for a long time. And I'm an accountant. This is what I do. So, I'm pretty quick at deciphering the numbers and getting everything done. I don't know. I use three different methods. Okay, so first step, just to let you know, I budget by paycheck. I live by budgeting by paycheck. It's just very easy for me to determine where money needs to go and to make it as simple as possible for me. But even though I budget by paycheck, I sit down with my budgeting notebook and I write out everything that is due in the upcoming month. I also use a calendar to see if there's any dates that things are going on that I might forget about, just to remind me, like birthdays, or if there's somewhere I have to go, if there's a trip, or if I have to put money towards a trip for the kid or something like that. Like, I look at a calendar to see what's going on during that time. Once I list out all of the bills that I have to pay for the month, along with my sinking funds, my savings, and any like fun money, and I talk about fun money a lot. Fun money is money that you can use for anything you want. I believe in it no matter what. It is important because the reality is you're going to spend it anyway. Make sure you have some fun money in your budget. But once I write everything out and total it, I split everything in half. Yep, you heard me right. I split everything in half. So I've seen people paycheck budget based off of like when items are due. But I personally just split the whole month in half. Now, the reason why I am able to do that is because I am a month ahead on all of my bills. So if it's June, then I am typically paying July bills. That's what I'm putting money towards. And this is how I was able to do it. Since I was actually paid bi-weekly, I actually use one of those extra paychecks in a month where you get 3 paychecks, and I pay my bills. A lot of people are like, ooh, extra paychecks. I don't have no bills to pay. I'm about to enjoy this check. No, I paid bills. And that put me ahead half of a month. The reason why I was able to get a whole month ahead is because when I received either a bonus or a refund, I took some of that money and put it towards my bills to put me ahead a whole nother month. The reason why I do that is because I just wanted to be in the position that if anything happened, I had a whole month head start on paying my bills being taken care of. So then I had enough time to like, either I could pull it from my savings, but I don't like to take money out my savings. I think I've told y'all this before. If I haven't, something about me. Or figure out like a new job or whatever I need to do, a new business venture to bring in more money. So you can do the same thing. If you are paid bi-weekly, then you can use one of those months where you get ahead on your check to pay your bills up either a month or a half a month ahead, or at least put the money to the side so that you're able to do so. That's another thing. Or you can use like a bonus or tax refund to do it, or if you receive some type of windfall just to put yourself ahead. You can even save up the money. It may take you a little bit longer, but there's nothing wrong with saving up the money and then paying that towards putting yourself ahead on some bills. And you don't have to do it all at once either. You make it work for you. So if you just want to be ahead on just one bill, you can just do that one bill. You just have to pick what works. So once I have everything split in half in my notebook, then the next thing that I actually do is I put it into my Paycheck Budget template. I will put a link to where you can get my Paycheck Budget template below. And so I actually put it in, I put both checks. So I get paid bi-weekly. So depending on the month, every now and then, it's typically like one to a few times a year, just depending on what year it is, where you get paid more than 2 times in a month. And so I will go ahead and put those amounts in my Paycheck Budget template in the actual month in which it is. And so I now have my numbers out, and I make sure that the bottom of the template actually says 0 because I do like to zero-base budget. It's just important to me to be able to give every dollar a name, even if it's just miscellaneous. Because I can find something to do with miscellaneous, or something will typically come up where miscellaneous will find itself a name really quick. And so I just really like to give every dollar a name. Maybe that's the accountant in me. And so I put it in that template. The next thing that I do is I go and make sure that the software that I'm currently using is up to date with all of my numbers. So right now I am using Personal Capital to keep a track on my spending. I also use Zeta, like I said, maybe it's the money nerd in me. I have a few systems. I really like Zeta and Personal Capital because they both will tell you where your money goes, like how you spend your money afterwards, which helps with my financial checkup process. But I'll put it in Personal Capital. There'll be a link to it below for you to check out. I'll also link Zeta for you to check that out also. And so that I kind of have like a backup, and it's helpful to me. Like if I'm out and about and I just want to look it up real quick just to see where I stand. That's why I like having it in software, especially if they have an app. Like if they don't have an app, I'm probably not too quick to do it. But if they have an app, because when I'm out and about or traveling and I need to see something or adjust for something, then I can do it in the software that I'm using. Now, the most important part of my process is the financial checkup. I really do one at the end. Before I get paid the second time, I like to do a quick look and see, how did I spend my money over the last couple of weeks? Did I overspend somewhere? Did I underspend somewhere? Did I put that money towards that goal that I said I was going to put it towards? Or did I make the money that I wanted to make for the goal? I look at all that stuff because what it does is it gives me an opportunity to change up my habits for the next 2 weeks. And sometimes it happens like that. If you budget monthly, and I've been there, so I'm going to speak to it. I can speak to it very clearly. Like when I used to budget monthly, and shoot, even sometimes when I was budgeting by paycheck, but didn't check to see how I spent my money. Then it was like I was already on going downhill and off track. And I stayed off track for the next 2 weeks because I didn't look to see what was going on, to see if I was on track, to see if I needed to adjust. So even if you budget monthly, you can look in the middle of the month and see how you are spending your money and see if you need to make some adjustments for it. So that's what I do. I kind of just take a quick glance to see like, what did I spend and where did I spend it? I adjust accordingly. And then at the very end of the month, I do the full financial checkup process where I'm just looking at truthfully where I spend my money, how I spent it, Did I put money towards my goals? Did I follow my action plan? Is my credit score exactly where I expected it to be? Even though I'm not needing credit right now, but I check my credit score pretty regularly, especially since they came for my credit in 2019. I have to tell y'all about that in another video. Whew, them hackers and those identity thieves really came for my credit. But anyway, I check for all of that. Well, the reason why I do that is so I can analyze my spending, which is the most important thing. That will tell you either you need to adjust your budget accordingly, because maybe you really are not spending like you thought you spend, or you need to put more money towards your goals. So as I mentioned in my previous video about the things I cut from my budget in 2020, we are still adjusting for those changes that we made. And so I will say I was really busy around the beginning of the year. So like when we were making changes, I didn't change the budget. And so I'm making adjustments for that, to make sure everything goes to where it's supposed to go, so it matches those goals that we have for 2020 also. And so that is what a financial checkup does for me. It just keeps me on track to reach my goals, or it checks me if I'm off track. I'll make sure I include a link below to my free financial checkup checklist and action plan, so you can create your own financial checkup process so we can reach those financial goals. So let me know if you have any additional questions about how I actually manage my money. If anything wasn't clear to you, because I know the fact that I budget like in half is a little different from others, and especially the part that I use 3 different tools. But you know, like I said, maybe it's the money nerd in me. I just like backups. Backups help me out, because there are some months, to be truthful, where if there's too much going on, the written down part doesn't happen, and I'm a little late on the Excel part. And so that's where personal capital comes in to save the day, so that I could see something, so that I could truly compare and have something to run my numbers against. But you know, it happens to everyone. So don't let people make you think that, you know, their financial lives are perfect every single second of the day, because they're not. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and the notification bell. And I'll see you next time.